gentlemen, praise God and welcome in. This is the Matthew Dark Show. Now remember, hit subscribe everywhere you get your shows. Never miss an episode. Such an important topic right now. The culture, if you've noticed, the year of 2025 has brought together and brought into the culture the conversation of Israel, Arab, Christian, all these alliances, all the dysfunction, all the hostility, all the fighting, all the death, all the pain. But I don't know that we actually get really accurate, truthful information. I think people are told one thing, they go with it with nothing firsthand, no testimony that can say, this is the reality. This is the strife of the Christian, the Jew, the Arab, whatever. We don't really care. We just care about truth. As followers of Jesus Christ, we're called to the truth no matter how painful, how long, how hard it takes. And that's why we're so grateful to have such an incredible guest. I mean, this is really the package guest. So we want to thank you, Shadi Khalloul. Now, let me give some resume here because this is really important stuff to the significance of the testimony and the firsthand experience. Aramean Christians, excuse me, that is your background. That is your culture. That is your heritage. A follower, a believer of Jesus Christ from Israel, okay, served in the IDF. And now your mission, your heart is to absolutely, I guess, bring together the significance of the unity of all these different moving pieces in the Middle East, living in harmony, living in peace, living with respect. I just want to welcome you in, sir, and really give us a background to how all this starts, because for most of our listeners, they're just the average American Christian. They're going to church on Sundays or maybe just Easter and Christmas. They stand with Israel. They love the Lord, but they don't know a lot about this stuff, the moving pieces in the Middle East and the strife there. I want to welcome you, sir, and just, if you would, just kind of get us introduced and set the tone here, because this is really important information.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. And again, I'm happy to be with you and with your listeners and viewers. My name is Shadi Khalloul. I live in Upper Galilee in Israel. 22 minutes from the Sea of Galilee, from Kfar Nahum, from Bethsaida, all these Mount of Beatitude. So we are in this region. I born and raised as Israeli Christian Aramaic Maronite person. I belong to the Syriac Maronite Church of Antioch. It's Antiochian Church. Means a church was founded by Saint Peter, that his name was Simon, in Hebrew Shimon ben Yonah, that was his original name, and was called by Jesus Kepha. He is the founder of the Church of Antioch, and that's the church that we belong to. And like Jesus, Saint Peter, he was a Jewish background, Israelite, spoke Aramaic language, prayed in Hebrew. And that's the language that we still pray in our churches today. And we also a community that, thank God, we live in Israel and not in the Arab countries around us, because we here at least enjoy freedom and freedom of worship, freedom of speech, freedom of any democratic values that you know in USA. We enjoy it here in Israel, while our brothers and sisters in Lebanon, in Syria, in Iraq, they don't dare to speak what they have in their minds. And so I, as a Christian here, is forced and obliged to speak the truth, because it's the only thing that set us free as Jesus ordered us to do. And so that's what I'm doing. I am leading a movement called the Christian Aramaic Israeli Movement. This is a movement that was founded when I returned from Las Vegas in 2007. I studied in Las Vegas University in international business and finance, and returned back to form this movement here in Israel. And since then, we have so many achievements for our Christian community, for the Israeli society, for Israeli state, and the state of Israel. After 7 years of our work, they recognize us finally Aramaic national, under the Aramaic national identity definition, and not under Arab identity, as falsely they did in 1948, because they were ignorant, they didn't know, nobody spoke about it. only our forefathers spoke about it one time, and the country was under war for an ongoing wars actually until today. And finally, I came with my military background, with a paratrooper background, with all what I did to contribute for the defense of Israel. And I reached out to Benjamin Netanyahu. I reached out to the foreign minister of Israel today, that his name is Gideon Saar, back then was interior minister. And I convinced all the officials that you need to recognize us finally as Christians as we are, and not force on us a false definition of being Arabs, because Arabs are Muslims, have nothing to do with us as Christians. And our Christian identity developed from Judaism, and the Jews developed from Aramaic, and that's what we are. So I achieved in this movement, Aramaic movement here in Israel since 2007, the Aramaic recognition. I formed a Christian Jewish educational leadership program in the Sea of the Galilee, where Jesus chose his disciples. That's why it was their form. And we have already 9 drafts, where 7 months each draft each year. We have 50 people of both communities, Christian and Jews, study together, learn together, work together, volunteer together, hike together, cook together, sleep in the same complex, and study and learn about each other's and how to become a better leaders for the society in Israel, both for from defend the state as well at the same time, and both lead the state in the future. We want to be well integrated, and in that place we help our Christian minority of 2% in Israel, 180,000 Christians, to better learn Hebrew, know the Israeli society and culture, and this enables them to be good leaders and better integrated within the state of Israel. That's our movement. That's what we are doing.
I think it's noble, and I think it's honorable, and I think it's what has to be done. John 14:6 is very, very clear. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, the life. There is no other way to the Father except through me. You described a very outnumbered Christian population in Israel. The way Revelation reads, the way the Bible ends, is that every Jew in Israel takes a knee and on his tongue declares Christ as king. I look at that right now. I wonder, where are we at? I mean, Jews need to become Christians to fulfill what started in Genesis. I mean, I guess that's my concern. Is that the end goal? Is the nation of Israel has to become Christian? Is that what eventually needs to be? They come to Christ as the Messiah, and we're speaking that boldly and bravely. Help me understand where they're at as a nation. Is that even on the table ever in our lifetime?
Well, I tell you something, that the Jews, they believe in the Messiah in their own way of Messiah. And in every generation, there is a Messiah according to Jewish belief. So there are many Messiahs in each generation, and they believe that the last Messiah that will come, it will come where it's the same concept of Christianity as we believe in it today, where when he come, all will rise from death and peace will come, and the state or the Israel will be formed again as a nation. I won't tell you now that all Jews here in Israel believe so, because many of the Jews are secular Jews.
Right.
Are secular Jews like Americans, like Europeans, like others, even in our region, you know, we have many nationalities, and some people are non-believers or atheists or just regular secular people. They preserve identity of Judaism. They believe they preserve their faith, but not strictly, and not follow the mitzvah, as we call it, or the orders as it is. So those people just living daily life, normal life, with respect to their roots and their heritage, without being religious. So I can't tell you that these people think about any Messiah or any Christ or anything else. They even don't think about their own religion as a Jews.
You might
So
be describing Israel as spiritually dead as the United States. Yeah, God's good, but they're not walking with him. They're not following him. I mean, just sort of aloof to it.
yeah, well, it's really Israel is very it's a lot of diversity among the Jews themselves too. You know, you have secular, you have religious, you have ultra religious Orthodox. So everyone take it to his own extent, and so you can. It's like any nation. You have in USA very religious people.
Right.
You have like just people that are Christians and preserving Christianity, and they proud of being Christian without going too deep in religion. And you have the ones who are really secular, and then the atheists don't care about religion and deny it. So that's the same. Jewish people and the Israeli people are the same, like any other people in the world.
Yeah.
So you tell me about them following Christ or Jesus. First, let them follow their own roots and their own, teachings before we think about anything else. And I think they have a role to play as Jews, other than just going after Christ. We call until they reach this point, it's going to take time, and they will do it in their own way, believe me.
Right. And so if I'm clear, the Jewish Messiah would be what we might consider Christ's second coming. And that's when they would recognize, or it could show up before Christ's second coming, or we don't know.
Nobody actually knows.
Okay.
Nobody
well, not
knows,
even Christ. He said only the Father.
Yes, but the same Messiah will come back.
That's right. And so it is odd to talk. It's why it's such a fascinating thing. See, for me, I didn't grow up in deep Jewish traditions or anything like that. I came of Christ in the last 10 years. And so I've only learned of the Holy Spirit and all the beauty that he presents and the freedom that he offers. And so, it is whether I'm evangelizing the lost person with blue hairs and tattoos and all these things, or the Jewish person, it's just the one answer. It's Jesus Christ. We're going to take our time with some folks are going to get there at their own pace. But it's one answer, one solution. So we could obviously, Christians around the world, lock arms with the benefit of saying his name. I don't care who the audience is. It's a winner when his name is spoken. Our guest is Shadi Khalloul, and this is really a fascinating movement. It's in and it's in the Galilee region. You're 22 miles from the sea. I wonder if you could give our listeners your firsthand, you're in the region since October 7th, since this movement of Israel becoming in the spotlight, violence all over the world. I mean, have you seen that cause a major shakeup, a major disruptance to everyday Israeli life? I mean, how do they process something like that, which comparatively is a very tragic, very impactful event that took place? How has that affected the culture?
Yeah, well, I can tell you that October 7th, that was not only a catastrophe for the Jewish people here, it is catastrophe for us as Christians in the region.
Yes.
We were so scared from what's happening. We were actually terrified to see how the Jewish communities in the South were slaughtered, were beheaded, where children were put in ovens. That's terrible, terrible atrocities of jihadi Muslims, fanatic radical Muslims with the Muslim Brotherhood like Hamas, because Muslim Brotherhood movement has Hamas, has Boko Haram, like Fulani in Nigeria who killing Christians too, in the same methods. They killed the Christians of Lebanon before, the same methods. during the 70s and 80s. And now they did it for the Jews. So we were, as a Christians, knowing about this threat and this brutality of Islamic radical movements. We were fearing that Israel might fall. And if Israel fall means we will be in a different scenario now, where we will be forced to be under Islamic regimes that will actually oppress us, and will also, our turn will come too after the Jews in Israel. So Israel for us is actually a place where this country, with all sometimes the or imperfection that we have like any other democracy, but this country is a safe haven for Christians,
Yes.
for native Christians, for population who have no one to depend on other than the state and the security forces of Israel. They are the only ones who guarantee the continuity of us in this land. And they also guarantee the continuity of the Jewish people too, but also us as a Christians, because we are Israelis. And guess what? Also for the Muslims that live in this country, 20% Muslims, they living in a good life like they do and enjoy it now because of these security forces that ensure safety and security for all the citizens of Israel, defending the borders of Israel, defending the society from even groups, radical groups among the Muslim Arab population inside the country. So this is something that we faced on October 7, and I was praying with my community that God will save this country, and that we were willing. Actually, I have so many calls asking me, Shadi, how we can join the IDF now. People in the 50s, people in their 50s and 40s and 30s, fathers of children, Christian fathers, wanted to join the IDF to save the country and contribute with the Jewish people to make this country, or to save it, or to fight for it so it won't fall. That was the fear. And as a person living in the north, only even not 1.5 miles from the border with Lebanon, we feared that the same scenario will happen in the north from Hezbollah in Lebanon, from this radical Shia group, Islamic group in Lebanon. And if they invaded together with Hamas, with other 7 fronts that they built around us here, from Syria to Lebanon to Iraq, Iran, Yemen, Gaza, Judea, Samaria, which they call it West Bank, all this they built with Iran for 18 years to wipe out Israel. And this, if this happened at the same time, we would be in a different scenario. I don't think if I would be speaking to you today, because I would be, I don't know if I would be alive, or I would be maybe not in Israel, or not be able to speak if I'm still here, because I wouldn't enjoy the freedom I enjoy under Israel today.
And that's good to hear, that they want to join and fight for the pride of the country, the nation, not necessarily we're fighting for Jews only, we're Arabs. It's the country coming together as a collective existence. So that's very inspiring, encouraging, and the camaraderie, which is you absolutely have to need, because as you note, country divided will fall. Absolutely. We've seen so many in history. And so we do have that. Division is usually built on, lies and fears. And so part of the job is that we just cut through all that with truth, and we break through fears. I wonder now, okay, as this war, appears to be kind of done, and we sort of begin, the regions that were impacted and kind of, whether you were Islam or Christian, because Christian communities have been affected, is there a place for those people to return to now that things have calmed down? Or what does it look like over there after? Because the videos that we see in the West, of course, are very intensive and flattened looking things that would be inhospitable going forward. What is it sound looking like going forward to restore those communities?
First of all, you need to differentiate between South and North.
Yes.
In the North, the war is not over.
Yes. Okay.
In the North, with Hezbollah, the war is not over. We have a ceasefire of 1 year, and the ceasefire has conditions. The condition is that the state of Lebanon, until the end of this year, will disarm the terrorist group proxy of Iran that called Hezbollah, Islamic radical group that carry ammunition, weapons, missiles, 80,000 fighters. Maybe they have now 40 or 50, with a full system functioning as a state within state and stronger than the state of Lebanon and its army. If we don't disarm this group and the state of Lebanon don't disarm it, the war is not over. It means we allow this monster to grow again and to build again itself with another fronts from Yemen, Gaza, West Bank, Syria, Iraq, Iran, and again we will have another devastating war and ongoing wars. We don't want this. We want to finish this war, and in order to finish it, the Lebanese state is responsible for its sovereignty, for its borders, for not allowing any militia to act on its behalf for peace or war, take decisions on their behalf, and drag the country into wars. And this actually oppresses the Christians community in Lebanon that want peace with Israel. And so we will not allow anymore any threat to grow. And if we don't want to allow this to grow, if Lebanese government don't do it, we're gonna do it.
So is that the answer over there? I mean, because it almost seems like these countries, they're never seeking peace. These Middle Eastern countries, these Arab countries are describing. I mean, is there anything inside of them that says we just want to get along ever? Or is the only answer to this peace is you have to take them out, annihilate? They just can't exist. I don't understand what would be the mechanism to change their hearts to say, these people don't want conflict, leave them alone. I mean, what are the thoughts there?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this.
Yes.
All those radical Islamic groups and those Islamic countries that are radical ones like Iraq, like Syria, like part
Iran.
of Lebanon, the Hezbollah ones, and other groups like affiliated with them, and Hamas and other group affiliated with him, Islamic Jihad, Boko Haram, all are Islamic Brotherhood movements. Turkey, let's say they have agenda also of Islamic Brotherhood movement. They don't see us as a Christian and Jews as equals people. They see themselves as superior people that have the superior religion, that they should dominate the world, and peace can come only when you submit to Islam. If you don't submit to Islam and a country don't submit to Islam, it is considered Dar al-Harb in Arabic, means the place of war. If you submit to Islam, then it is considered Dar al-Salam, means the place of peace. So peace is only when they dominate you and you submit to Islam. If you don't submit to Islam, then they will dominate you and treat you as a second and third and fourth class citizen, as a dhimmi, means as an infidel inferior citizen need to pay tax protection, need to pay jizya, fines. That's Islam.
Yeah.
So it's ideology. It's not only a religion. And by ideology, this ideology, they want to control the whole world. And this ideology is dependent on teachings from the 7th century, means it will keep you stuck in the 7th century and not going anywhere for advancement. Mm. And that's why you see their country not advancing anywhere. Where radical Islam controlling, they destroy the place and the place become desert.
Yes.
It's a culture of desert.
Right.
From the 7th century. That's something need to be known to the people. So in order to fight this, you need ideology, not only physical wars, physical war with ideology. And I recommend for peace, really true peace in the Middle East, the Arab nations need to be asked by Western powers, by USA, by European countries to teach for love, to teach for tolerance, to teach for recognizing other nations equally, for respect our cultures equally. And the same way they spread Islam in Europe and USA and build mosques, they need to allow spreading Christianity in their Arab countries and Islamic states and build churches freely and not going after Christians and oppressing them and killing them and suicide bombing on their churches and so on and so on. So we need equality in treatment. Then when you fight back ideology by ideology, I'm telling you and I assure you, the Muslim nations and Arabs will transform to be more moderate because they will be exposed to different culture. At the end, a human being don't want to send his children to die for, I don't know what, 72 virgins in heaven.
Right. Right. I think it's well said. I think one of the things you just described as the problem with this is if you go to the UK, you can get arrested for praying outside an abortion clinic, but they've allowed thousands, if not millions, of African migrants to invade their cities, change their cultures, decimate any idea of a Christian nation in the UK. It's actually should be horrifying to the average person to see that you're a greater criminal there praying at an abortion clinic than you would be showing up on a boat, invading a country, hurting its citizens. So the leaders have betrayed the faith. The leaders have betrayed the nations in the West for sure. I can tell you right now, you are a marked person as a Christian in the sense of you're mocked. You've been told that your beliefs don't matter. You're made little. And you can also be held to a crime for praying outside of abortion clinic here. It's a federal crime somehow in America. Once was a Christian nation, would now praying in your head that this mother doesn't kill her child could put you in a federal penitentiary. See, that's a sickness that only Christ can resolve. That's so demonic, covering the world, that only the power of the Holy Spirit could even dare break through something so demonic in our leaders' hearts, in our mothers' hearts, in our citizens' heart that say, yeah, I realize that baby's going to be born in 3 minutes, but if you decided you don't want to do it, you can take that baby. See, we've got to go right down to that spiritual, and that's why the spiritual walk that our citizens here and abroad are walking with a power greater than themselves, an accountability greater than themselves than the fleshly world that is actually dictating, and Satan just saying, do this, it'll feel good. Don't do this. You don't have to do this. There's no accountability. So it has to come back to Christ. It has to come back to an individual relationship with a higher power. This is such a good topic for America as we move into our country. I'm of the opinion right now in America, you cannot vote your way out of any of the things that you do not like. It will be an organic spiritual movement made amongst communities and neighbors that say, had enough. Okay, the system's not working for me. And so everywhere I turn, I'm being lied to. And so in America, and I do want your if you guys have any grasp on this, the Epstein files here in America are a really big divider. They're actually causing a major issue amongst conservatives, and it's going to shatter the nation. I mean, what's going on right now with these three-party kind of in dispute and the deceit and the lies that are coming. To me, as Americans, why are we not more consistent that our government is betraying us and it's lying to us, and we have to break the cycle? I wonder over there, number one, do you hear any rumblings of our challenges with the Epstein files in Israel? And number two, is the average Israeli citizen, Arab, Christian, Jew, are they still convinced that their government is all in for them, or they have maybe abandoned their posts? Because here, America, our politicians have abandoned their posts a long time ago. I'm wondering if it's held more tightly there, if they have a better connection to their government from a trust perspective. And then, I don't know, the lies that we're being told here, does any of that make the headway in Israel? For just comment, I guess. Go ahead, your thoughts.
Well, first about the Epstein files, we hear about them here too.
Yeah.
It's part of it. We have a prime minister here that is accused being a friend of Prime Minister Barak, his name,
Yes.
Ehud Barak, that they accuse him of being a friend of Epstein and visiting his premises in New York. Many people suspect he was partner with him in many of those crimes against little ladies. Nothing is approved, but that's what they say. I don't know. And so we have this also here, this effect of it here. Regarding the people of Israel and their government, the majority of the people of Israel trust their government. And I can tell you why I think that. Because we did, as you know, from 2018 to 2020, 5 elections, continuous elections.
Jeez.
And on those 5 elections, we had every time same votes. And people vote for Benjamin Netanyahu and Likud party, and which is the right party. And people trusted that they are the ones who can lead the country. And now they are the ones actually who won the elections and leading the country. But the problem is that left are not accepting those results, even though they were very clear and the right was a majority, the conservative right, but they don't accept it, and they try to anything, actually, any forms of ways to weaken the government. And that's okay. But there's a legitimate way to do it, and there is a illegitimate way to do it. If you work according to law and demonstrations, it's okay. But to close streets and to threaten not to serve in the army, we don't have this privilege. We have only one army.
Right.
And this army in this tiny country that surrounded by enemies that can attack you. And once they see you divided, they will take advantage and attack you as they did in October 7th. Because of our division as Israelis, then this is a problem. Luckily, when this happened, the people united and fought all together to defend themselves and Israel. So we know we can trust the government. And people, the majority, trust the government. We have a tiny minority not trusting the government. And they will never trust the government because they come from a progressive movement that I don't know what they try to do. I really don't know what they want. I think they don't know what they want.
Some people just like chaos. They just like dysfunction. They like misery in the culture. And, you know, if you are trying to break down a culture, you do exactly what you're saying. You divide it, you start wars, you start chaos, you start, you know, illegal things. We saw that all over the American campaigns and elections where you had, now our elections are fake. I'll be very clear. We do not trust what comes in. We mail in all of our votes, 81 million votes for Joe Biden. So we do a lot of crazy things. And that small sliver of distrust, you know, is going to be in every culture. The problem is when its government presents itself as full out liars, certainly in the United States case, that divide that minority is now too big to where now maybe 40 or 50 million people say, I think everything we've ever been told is a lie. And so the whole point of that is government can never be trusted. Why? Because government is made of men with flesh and sinful desires, period, end of story. At the end of the day, you don't like the way the system's, then you don't have a tight enough relationship with Jesus Christ, who is satisfying, fulfilling your every need. So everywhere we go, because you're going to be disappointed in government from now, at least in the United States, until the end of time. Christ doesn't disappoint. Christ grows. Our guest is Shadi Khalloul, and the fight to preserve and expand Israel's Christian community. I mean, this is the dream come true. My opinion, and no offense to anybody listening, is that the greatest thing in the world that could happen, Paul's story overtakes the nation of Israel. To me, the nation of Israel has a Paul style of encounter, and we are off to the races into the kingdom. But in the meantime, you're fighting for that Israeli or that Christian significance in Israel. How can we support you? What are the things that we need to be doing to make sure? Because that is critical to be happening right in the epicenter of spiritual revival.
Yeah, I tell you this story, how it is connected to you guys in USA.
Yes.
When I was a student in Las Vegas, to answer this question, I was thinking about my American dream. I came to Las Vegas to build my American dream. I studied international business and finance in UNLV. And in my last semester, I already have plans. I built a business with American friends. And I was planning to stay in the US and have this big American dream, successful businessman, rich, whatever you think of.
Right.
They teach us in business administration to be this way. And in my last semester, I need to take Bible as English literature. I chose Bible and not Shakespeare as English literature because Bible is close to my heart.
Yes.
I grew up in a Protestant school in Haifa, and I learned every day, almost in school, to go, first of all, pray in the morning 15 minutes before starting our day in the church. And even though I'm not Protestant, I am a Catholic, Maronite, Aramaic Christian. But I learned in Protestant school, and for me, I don't care about what background of Christianity you are. For me, we are all body of Christ.
Yes.
We believe on Him as our Savior, and so we share the same values and same common roots. And believe me, the others think about us this way. They don't care what your background, Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox, Maronite, Syriac Orthodox, Armenian Orthodox, whatever, you just name it. They don't care. For them, for Muslims, you are Christian, you are not one of them.
Yes.
And we have same destiny for those who don't like us. So I understood in Las Vegas, in this Bible course, I want to take it for easy credit.
Right.
I took this Bible course and we were reading the Bible. One of the verses was, one of the student Americans, she read the Bible, one verse, and it said, Talitha Kumi. And when she said that, a Catholic instructor, Professor John, his name, he said, stop, this is not English. We are dealing with English course. This is not English, this is Aramaic, and it kept in the Bible as it is, not translated. It was the language of the Jews, and Jesus, as a Jewish person, spoke Aramaic back then, like his people. And unfortunately, this language died.
Yes.
Once he said died, I raised my hand. I said, excuse me, instructor, it didn't die. We still exist. We are here. He said, excuse me, who you are? I said, I am Israeli Christian, belong to the Aramaic Maronite Church of Antioch. He said, sorry, we don't know about you. Prepare a presentation next week.
Nice.
So I said, oh my God, why I want easy credit. All I wanted is easy credit in this course, not more. So now I need to go back home, prepare a presentation, think deeply, learn about my people, learn more how I'm gonna present them. And I decided at the end of historical background also to teach them the Lord Prayer in Aramaic, Jesus' tongue and language, as it is. In his own words, this is the only prayer Jesus taught us in Aramaic, our Father in heaven. So I came back, I told them that, and I saw people, Americans, that half an hour ago, they didn't know about me.
Mm-hmm.
They had tears in their eyes.
Mm.
They were asking me how we can help your people, how we can help your community, how we
Yes.
can assist your language not dying. It's important for us. It's a language of Jesus too, and
Mm-hmm.
it's connected to all of us. Language, its culture, its identity, its values. So I said, wait. These Americans want to help my people to preserve the language and identity and save it.
Yeah.
And I ran away to USA to build my American dream. So those Americans pushing me back home now.
Right.
So I said, wow, what experience. My people don't know about this. That there are so many people in the world when you expose your needs,
Yes.
and they are peaceful needs, good needs, positive for building bridges between. It was, to remind you, Aramaic, the lingua franca of the Middle East. It's an app that was created before any app
Yes.
for connecting people
Right.
at ancient times here.
Yes.
So I said, maybe I should think not just building American dream, but build my Aramaic dream.
Yes.
I should go back to help my people. If those Americans want to help, maybe I should also go and help.
Yes.
And I decided to finish my degree. When I finished it, I had a bachelor degree and returned back to Israel. And I founded this NGO. And since then, we are working to preserve the identity. We have Aramaic summer camps, teaching the kids and the children Aramaic language and identity. I lobbied the government, advocated for the parliament to recognize our Christian community, native Christians, as Aramaic people and not Arabs.
Yep.
Means not like part of Muslim world.
Right.
We have a unique identity. We need to be recognized. And finally, thank God, in 2014, Israel recognized it. As I told you, after I met Benjamin Netanyahu and Gideon Saar, the interior minister back then. And 2017, I formed the first Christian Jewish program to help Christians integrate better in the IDF. And now I am working to build the first Christian Aramaic town in Israel, convincing the state of Israel to do so after the recognition of our Aramaic identity, to complete this with building a town so we can preserve the language and identity and testify for our culture and for our faith in this land.
Amen.
And thank God I have the green light to do so. And hopefully soon we will hear more news about it.
That's fantastic. It's a beautiful mission. I wonder, would you give us a little Aramaic? Let us listeners hear just a little bit if you have a word for us.
So if you want, before I teach you Aramaic, Lord Prayer, and pray
Yes.
with you and for your people
Yes.
and for us and for all who need it.
Yes.
If you want to help us, help this project that we are leading here.
Yes.
We have a website. You can go to it. It's called www.aramaic-center.com.
Okay.
You can see it. You have a link for donation. You can do whatever you feel like to help continue our projects, to help integrating our Christian community and save our Aramaic language here and identity in this land. And this is good for the Jews. This is good for Israel. This is good for us as Christians. And we will build through it a connecting or bridges again, because this was a language that built connection. And with people, we can revive it and keep it testifying for our faith and as Christians and as Jews in this land.
Oh, we can absolutely get behind you and support that. Thank you.
I want to teach you and pray for you.
Yes.
The Lord's Prayer, as Jesus himself taught us how to pray when he was asked from his disciples, Lord, how we shall pray? He said, this is how you should pray. Abunit bashmayo, nitkadash shmoch, tite malkutoch, neho sibyonoch, aikanut bashmayo of bar'o, havlan lahmot sonkonan yaumono, washbuklan haubain wahtuhain, aikano dofihnan, shbakn الحايو bain. ولو تعلان النسيونو إيلو فاصون من بيشو ميتول دي لخي ملكوتو وحيلو تشبحتو العلام علمين. Amen.
Amen. That's absolutely beautiful. I wonder when did Aramaic leave as a regular culture you'd hear around? How long has it been since it was a dominant or more spoken language?
The language still exists until today, and it lasted already 4,000 years as a spoken language. And it is today still spoken by our communities here as native Christian communities, in specifically Syriac Orthodox people, Syriac Maronites, Syriac Catholics, and some evangelical churches that descendants from those Aramaic people and developed here. Very few like little evangelical churches, but at the end, we were all Aramaic people. This was the land that called the land of Aram, and today is called Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq, and had Aramaic kingdoms, Semitic people with Aramaic language. The Jews descended from Aramaic people, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Israelites' origins are Arameans, not Armenians, Arameans.
Right.
So we are the original native people together with the Jews in this region. The Arabs invaded us in the 7th century from Arabia, and they formed this, what they call Islamic State, with its capital in Damascus. And they forced the people to speak Arabic and make Arabic the only official language allowed to be spoken in this region in their Islamic State. And so during 1,400 years, this Aramaic language started declining slowly under Arab conquest. And this was called colonialism, and nobody calling colonialism.
Right.
That's colonialism. That's apartheid.
Yes.
Not Israel.
Right.
That allowing people today to prosper and to learn and to preserve their identities.
Yes.
So you need to know that Aramaic declined because of Arabic atrocities and Islamic atrocities. And people should know that if they don't preserve their identity in USA, be proud USA, be proud European nations with a Christian Jewish background, Judeo-Christian background, they will not exist in the future, because these people will invade you like they did for us. The only thing I can do for you is testify what happened for us, so we can warn you from our mistakes, from our experience, what you can not do and what you can do, and this threat what can do for you. So we're talking from loving you. not from anything else, not because maybe I cannot do anything now as a Christian here in this region. I cannot build Lebanon again to be Christian country as it was before, founded by them and taken by Muslim fanatic groups today, and Muslim world conquered it. Wanted the state to be enemy of Israel. The Christians, when they formed Lebanon, specifically the Aramaic Maronites, Phoenician people, they didn't want Lebanon to be enemy of Israel. They wanted peace with the Jews. But the Arab forced them to act as a hostile state and hosting terrorist groups to fight from their land, forcing the Christians on this too. The Christians until today are oppressed in Lebanon. You don't want to have this experience in USA. Don't allow them to impose a new hatred toward Israel. Don't go there, because you will be destroyed from you within. Every country goes against Israel will be destroyed. God will not allow it happening. Look at Lebanon, when it was under Christians and it was peaceful toward Israel, or neutral, it was prosperous like Switzerland in the Middle East. When it became hostile and full of hatred because of this Islamic Arab controlling of Lebanon, with the Arab League and other Arab nations controlling it, it became catastrophe and bankrupt country.
Yes.
You don't want to go there in the US.
Yeah, and that's why the Christian needs to be bolder in their faith, speak to these atrocities. You love Christ? Well, this is designed to destroy Christ. This is designed to take Christ out of culture and replace it with something very demonic. The average Muslim man will have 7 children in his lifespan. The average white American man will have 1.8 children. You don't have to be a math wizard to understand that that is a huge threat, and that's just in the U.S. That's globally too. There is no restrictions to breeding and growing, and that's in their culture to make big numbers of people, big numbers of families. Here in the U.S., we say, oh, it's too expensive to have kids. We'll just be single and go on trips, and that's not the way we'll fight or win this one. It is in strong Christian faith. Shadi, I can't tell you what a rich, historic, history-filled, just so right there in the moment, giving us those sights and sounds, from where it's at. I mean, this is the hottest spot on the planet. Everything right now revolves around the conflicts in the area. And do we go peace or do we go more destruction? And it's all on the table right now for these nations. We're going to pray for peace only. Peace is coming through the strength of Christ and the love of Christ. It's the only way to defeat the nations. Let's go back to Babel just real quick, and we'll just sort of set the tone with where we're at as a country or as a world. If you go to Babel, and God's divided the nations, he's very upset with the congregation, and they're going to build the tower, they're going to make themselves God. He divided the nations. He mixed up their language. He kept Israel for himself, and he's going to do all his teachings and start over through the seed of Abraham, which brings us to Jesus Christ. Please know, folks, when we talk about the nations, these nations are under the rule of very powerful and demonic forces, and they don't like the name of Christ entering those nations. It provokes them. It makes them mad, but it's the only way to defeat them. Jesus Christ slays all of these nations at the end. You can start speaking of that victory now as a Christian. Shadi, we're going to get all the places to follow you, connect with you, support you, pray for you. We want to be following up with you. This is very important what you're doing over there. Any last words you can give our listeners, just sort of the hope, peace plan as we move forward into, almost a new year again?
Yes, I want to tell them that be strong, be courageous, speak the truth. Let your answers, like Jesus said, be yes, yes, no, no. Don't play politically correct. Tell them the truth in their eyes, in their face, politely, and teach them how they should respect you as a people. And I wish by this attitude, positive Christian attitude that we follow here, we can show the whole nations together how we Christian and Jews here can build a copy of bridge building peace so other nations can copy. And this would be our contribution to more Arab and Muslim nations to follow our path as a Christian and Jews here in the land. how we build peace together in understanding and in dialogue and in the mutual respect. And so we can be a good peace builders as we supposed to be. That's our role. And for Christmas, I would tell you, Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Happy New Year. May
Yes.
God bless you, bless America, bless Israel and our Christian Aramaic people in Israel and in Lebanon and the entire region.
Amen. And Jesus says, blessed are the peacemakers. And that is my commitment to you. So grateful for you coming on. God bless you. We're with you. We'll have a connection with you now going forward. And of course, Merry Christmas, a new year, many blessings and everything. Folks, do this until next time. Serve God, help others, stay good. Goodbye. God bless everybody.
The Matthew Dark Show, your one-stop show for truth, courage, fellowship, and faith. Available everywhere you get your podcasts.